Defining Boundaries with Peta Cox.
Today on Defining Boundaries, I am joined by someone who has pushed the limits of what a surveying career can look like across countries, commodities and challenges. Brett Grocock is a mine surveyor, leader and founder with more than 24 years of experience. 24 years had a lot of exclamation marks after it when I asked that question, so we'll find out a bit more about that. He has worked across Australia, around the world, from Kalgoorlie to Ghana, Canada to Philippines, leading teams, introducing new technology and building a business from the ground up. So Brett is now the Managing Director of Element Geospatial. It is the evolution of Mine Survey Plus. His leadership style is direct, values-driven and deeply human, which I really, really love. Put family first. It sits at the top of his company values, and it isn't just a slogan, it is lived. Today I hope to talk about something that both Brett and I believe is critical in our industry: mental health, pressures of surveying careers, the reality of working in high stakes, high demand environments. So that's hopefully we get to touch on some of that sort of stuff. Because careers like ours come with immense responsibility, long hours, isolation, and moments that can test even the strongest of people. So let's dive in. Brett, thank you for joining me today.
No worries, Peter. Very happy to be here. And I've been following the potty for a while, and you guys are doing some good work, speaking to a whole range of people, and I'm happy to have a chat.
Yeah, that's great. Now that I'm back on the wagon? Yeah. Had a little break. So anyway.
It's Christmas time. You're allowed to be on the wagon.
Oh, no. My poor podcast has been a bit quiet for a while. So now I've got the time. I'm going to get straight back into it and get them happening again. So, yeah. All right, Brett. So let's start right at the beginning. Where it all began. What was life growing up in Perth's northern suburbs?
It was fortunate. It was privileged, I guess. We lived a couple of k's from the beach, and I'd ride down there with my boogie board backpack, which is a fantastic sail or a fantastic speed brake, depending on how you look at it. And ride down the beach and spend the days down there, and good group of mates locally to where I lived, and it's I've been very very blessed in that had a stable home, had parents that loved me and did the best for me, and whether or not I've made the most of those opportunities, especially in my early 20s, I'm not too sure, but I hope I've returned their investment in spades as I've hit my 40s.
Oh, I was going to say, I think we all kind of go through that at some stage.
Yeah. So it was. I was very lucky. I consider myself very lucky and thankful.
It's nothing like being able to just hit the beach in 5-10 minutes, is there, after school?
Esky-lid
though? Esky-lid?
Hey, I had a 5.7 Blacksall thruster surfboard that I took out at Jake's in Kalgoorlie with my front zip wetsuit with a little collar. It was a little dive wetsuit or something, and it was a short john arm and leg sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think I got it as a package deal with the surfboard, and it was probably my third time out, and the waves were huge, and I I caught a wave that was way too big for me, went to go stand up, and I didn't have enough wax on it, both my hands slipped off, and I face planted on my board, then just got drilled, and I was like, I don't think standing up's for me. so yeah. But,
fair enough.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being in the water, though, is there?
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's great. If you're ever going to ask me out to dinner, or if I'm ever going to have a beer, if I'm by the coast or by some water of some description, it always makes it taste better. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I know a couple of times when I've been over that way and I've had a few hours to spare. I've headed to Cottesloe and sat at the pub there and just looked
Yep.
at the water and gone, oh, how good is this?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I love our beaches here. Trig Beach and a little canteen down there. That's my go-to with the girls, and
Hmm.
get a couple of eggs on toast with some spinach and ham off the bone. It's a
Oh, that
beautiful way to
sounds
spend a
nice.
Saturday morning.
Sounds nice. What about sharks?
I don't bother me, I don't bother them. So we've got a good relationship.
It's
We
the
just
best one to have,
pretend,
isn't it?
yeah, we just pretend neither one exists, and yeah. But there have been times when the kids have been in the water and they're stepping off a ledge, the sun's at our back, and I'm just like, oh, if one of those kids disappear, just right, get in. But Dad, we're not even that deep. I don't care. Get in. Come on, let's go.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
protective father takes over pretty quick.
Mm, yeah, I get
So
that. The amount of times we had the plane fly over and the sirens go off and you could just
yeah,
see them. We had gutters between our beaches where they, nested and had their
yeah,
babies and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on, I could talk about water all day.
yeah.
So surveying wasn't your original plan. How did you get to into surveying if that wasn't, sort of where you started?
Um, so look, I've never been a good student in that. If it didn't interest me, my attention rapidly went elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, 43 or something, getting diagnosed with ADHD.
Oh, funny
Like,
that, hey?
yeah, it made a lot of sense. Yeah, year 12, I didn't do that great. When repeated year 12, did better.
Mm-hmm.
Then went to uni to go study aquaculture.
Yep.
And I did that for 8 months, never saw a fish. And for me, it was frustrating because I want to get hands on. I want to be on the farms.
Yeah.
I want to be learning about how all that works. So, but I've had a job since I was 10 almost.
Mm.
I've always had the work ethic of always, if it interests me, I'm all in. I'm fully
Yep.
invested. But yeah, so aquaculture for a bit, then went back, did some brickies labouring, which again, if you're going to work, like if you want
That's a
to test
that's a
the
worker's
capacity
job.
of your work,
Yeah.
the capacity of your work ethic, go
Yep.
be a brickies labourer.
Mm.
And yeah, did that, and then at the same time, I was working at Big W. I was working at pubs and
Mm.
working for my brother-in-law as electrical wholesaler, and yeah, heard some bloke talking about surveying and technology, outdoors, indoors, and working away, which had always interested me, like working on the mines or working on the rigs or something
Yeah.
like that. I knew there was a capacity to earn some money there, which I was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also a capacity for adventure and exploration and outdoors and playing with big machines in a grown up's world, and yeah, that was exciting as well. So
Yeah.
it
Um,
was good.
so after that sort of conversation, it was something you're thinking, oh, this is pretty cool. And did you go and find a surveyor to work for, or you went straight in to do?
No, I just signed up and went straight in. But yeah, again, working. I think I was working 3 or 4 jobs at one point while trying to study.
It's
Like I
always fun,
do,
isn't it?
I do. We had Saturday morning prac for some reason, and I'd do Friday night working in a nightclub, finish at 4 o'clock or something, just go park up at TAFE, and then the blokes would knock on my window and go, "Come on, let's go." Yep, rightio, rightio. So yeah, 2 years at TAFE took me 3 years. I was probably being a bit of a naughty late age or naughty teenager as well. So just not fully invested and not really clear on what the outcome was going to be, I
Yeah.
guess. But then, yeah, while I was at TAFE, I started getting some work experience and started going up to the mines and sitting on survey pillars, doing end of month, shooting a prism on a 5 metre staff, K and a half away sort of thing, really accurate sort of stuff. And yeah, it all started to make sense. And then as soon as I finished my diploma, I moved to Kalgoorlie and yeah, haven't looked back. It's been a ride.
Yeah. What about those early sort of times in Kalgoorlie? What do you sort of remember about those, in that working environment and being away from home and, it's completely different.
Yeah, look, I think I fully embraced it. Of something that I've always lived by is to say yes to opportunity and
Yep.
being able to meet all these new people, have a crack at all these new things, and yeah, it was great. We met a heap of other like-minded mining professionals and allied health people and all that sort of stuff. We had a house full of seven blokes, and yeah, it was just it was awesome. The sort of got thrown to the wolves a little bit in that you'll work it out, and yeah, I eventually did. But look, Starlinks weren't a thing, so if I was out on a remote site, it was really engage the people I was working with, let them know my level of experience, I guess, and then and ask for their forgiveness as I slowed things down and worked it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So for those that don't sort of know much about the mining surveying, it's a little bit different to our typical land surveying. Is where you started in an open cut or underground?
yeah, so I started in an open pit gold mine that was about. So I grew up in Perth, which is on the west coast of
Yep.
Australia. Moved to Kalgoorlie, which is 600 kilometres east, and the nearest coast is 400 kilometres south at Esperance. And for any of your listeners that are international, look that up. It's absolutely beautiful down there, like just magnificent beaches and coastline. And yeah, so started out in an open pit. I'm pretty sure I was using one man total station, working by myself, banging in pegs and setting out ramps and ore blocks and all that sort of stuff. And then after that, that project probably lasted the first 6 months I was in Cal, and then I moved into underground down at Kambalda at a site called Junction, which was very seismically active and exciting.
Oh, okay.
When
Wow.
you'll get a lot of bangs and jolts and that sort of stuff. But
So whereabouts is that? Because I've never heard of that.
so Kambalda is about 50 k's south of Kalgoorlie.
Oh, okay.
It's on the edge of a great big salt lake, and the
Oh,
St
yeah.
Ives project is a large-scale gold mine. Kambalda was originally built, I think, in the early 80s around nickel, predominantly, but there was a lot of gold and nickel ore bodies there, and the nickel resource down there is massive, absolutely huge.
Wow.
And you can go from north of Kambalda all the way through to Kambalda and through all these different mines, all underground. It's really impressive. But yeah, so I'd drive from Kalgoorlie each day, cross the causeway on the Salt Lake, and then go underground at Junction, and yeah, it was good fun. So
What was it like going underground for you? But up, from working on top to then moving into underground.
I loved it. Every time I go underground, even today, when I'm driving, so you can either drive down a decline from a box cut or a portal at the bottom of a pit, or there's
That's the
not too
one
many
I like.
shafts. Sorry?
I said that's the type I like.
Yeah, there's not
I
too
may
many
say
shafts
I
in
haven't gone
WA.
down a shaft, and I don't think I ever want to go down a shaft.
No, shafts are good. Shafts are
Yeah.
good. We do a lot of work in shafts. Yeah, that's something we specialise in. Just the
Hmm.
high accuracy transfer of verticality and concrete, slip form concrete and equipping and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so going underground, you'd take a Land Cruiser down there. It was awesome. It was exciting. Even today, when I'm going underground, I'm like, I don't. I say to myself every time, I don't work in a bank, and not that there's anything wrong working in a bank, but it's exciting. Like
No.
we're, yeah, it's good fun. And to me, it doesn't matter if you're a meter underground or 1,500 meters. If a 1 ton rock lands on your head, it's not going to make a difference. So unless you got a really big hard hat, I guess. But yeah, so it doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah. It was interesting. I went to see one of my students while I was working in that area and in the training side of it, and getting to actually go in and drive down, and
Yeah,
we went really, really deep, and it's just amazing how different it is than the type of work
yeah,
they're doing and all that sort of stuff. And all these cut off areas where you walk along and then there's this massive hole, and
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like so crazy. There's this massive underground little maze.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's some places are just incredible for their complexity around their underground design that
Mm.
is obviously done to meet the requirements of the ore body. But places like Olympic Dam in South Australia, I spent a long time there, and like they've got landmarks underground, and you might be telling someone how to get to the 40 oranges, which is the 40 level in the orange block. You'd be like, go past the Grizzlies, down past Slim Dusty Pillar, up through the Shark Tank, and you're giving all these directions. And for someone that knows the mine, oh yeah, yep, yep, yep. And for someone who doesn't, you're like, what are you?
What?
What? Yeah. But
What the hell?
yeah, some of this underground infrastructure is just massive,
Mm.
and yeah, I was very lucky to get to see a lot of it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did you go from um, working in Kalgoorlie to ending up overseas? Was that not long into your career?
Yeah, so I did 18 months in Kalgoorlie, and then I went over to North Parks, living in Parks in New South Wales there,
Hmm.
and I did 12 months there, and then that project was coming to an end, and my boss said, "Hey, do you want to go to Tanzania?" And I was like, "Yep, absolutely." So three surveyors had actually snuck past. I'm not sure that's quite the right phrasing, but there was a breach of the independent tag board underground. So you got a tag board at the surface, a
Oh,
tag
yes.
board underground if they do independent firing. So that's where they fire outside of the set firing times. And so there was a breach of that procedure somehow, some way. And these three surveyors actually got killed
Oh, gosh.
doing a pickup. So yeah, so I went over there. That was it was an interesting time to come into a survey department, especially I'd literally had 2.5 years
Yep.
experience at this stage, so I was very definitely green. And yeah, that ended up being a short-lived expedition because we had a power outage, and I said to my boss, "Oh, I'll go to the pub and level up the pool table because we'd been there the Sunday before." And he goes, "Yep, yep, no dramas. You got any cash?" And I said, "Oh no, I've changed some money." And went there in my overalls and leveled up the pool table, had a couple of beers. I got back to site, and he goes, "Have you been drinking?" And I went, "Yeah, I had a beer after I played the game." And he's like, "Right, you're off site." So I was absolutely devastated. Um, but it taught me an incredible lesson, and
Yeah.
it's that if you're a contractor in particular, you need to hold yourself to a higher standard.
Hmm.
You need to follow the rules. You need to you need to play their game. But it also taught me that if you have got new green people, take them under your wing,
Yeah.
mentor them, coach them, give them a bit of love, and help them not make stupid mistakes.
Yeah. Try and teach them the things that you had to go through, and so they don't
Yeah.
have to do it.
But I'm always impressed when we've got a graduate and they come to you and they show you something that they've broken, and you're like, I didn't even know that could be broken. Like I'm impressed by
Impressed.
your devotion to breaking this thing. It's incredible. So yeah, it takes all types with the grads and the people coming up. So
Yeah.
just got to get around them and give them love and support.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. I mean, education is something where they learn the theory side of it. You know, depending on where they go, they don't get a lot of that practical
Yeah.
side of it. So that's where I've always said that, you know, that's the company's position to help train them up on that side for sure.
And we're seeing kids coming through now, they haven't got their manual driver's license. All the vehicles underground are all manuals, you know. And it's like, rightio, we need to get you skilled up on that. And I think they've dropped the four-wheel drive course at TAFE. I know they certainly don't do it at uni, but I need people with a bit of bush sense, you know. Like I'll always hire a farmer's son or a daughter if they've got some survey experience any day of the week, or someone who's done some travel and seen the world, because you know they've probably got themselves into the shit at some point. They can get themselves out by hook or by crook, and so and that's what you need. You need that resourcefulness, the ability to go, right, what resources have we got here? How are we going to solve this and fix it? You know.
Well, that's what I always say. Like I think, you know, one of our biggest jobs is to problem solve.
Yeah.
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 So,
Absolutely.
yeah. It doesn't surprise me about the only knowing how to drive an automatic. I mean, I'm lucky I've got two boys who do know how to drive a manual, but one of them didn't want to have bar of it.
Yeah.
Didn't care. Still doesn't. I don't think he now still even knows how to drive a manual sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I know.
Look, I've got a 12-year-old daughter. She's insistent she's going to learn to drive stick, as she calls it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great, but now I've got to find a car that's got a gear stick. So that's, in all honesty, that's going to be the challenge, right? So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had to go backwards in our cars to to get one that had the stick in there. That's for sure.
And if I buy a really cool car with a gear stick, she's definitely not driving that.
Yeah. No, they don't drive our cool cars with the stick in it. Definitely not. Yeah. So after they're being kicked off that site sort of thing, did you come back to Australia, or that's where you?
Yeah. So where did I go after that? I was floating back in and out of Kalgoorlie for a bit. I went to Olympic Dam after that. And then I spent 12 months there. So I was living in there's the camp in Roxby Downs and the camp out at Olympic Dam. And Olympic Dam's very much the service centre for the actual mine. And Roxby Downs is 10 k's down the road sort of thing. But that's the residential hub for all the residential people. I lived there in a camp room for 12 months and had my little short wheelbase Pajero, and I'd just go travelling. So up to the Artesian Basin on the Unadilla track, and then up to Birdsville and all around South Australia. Just anywhere I've ever gone, I've made the most of that opportunity to go travel and explore and check things out. And every international job I've done up until I started having kids, like it was always tack on a 2-week holiday somewhere at the end of it, or use your breaks to go wherever. When I was in Ghana, I did 18 months over there. I went to Iceland for a music festival. I went to the Caribbean for the Cricket World Cup.
Wow.
It was a time of my life. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's for sure. You posted a picture on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if that was today or a few days ago or something was it a car in a ditch or something?
Yeah. That was in Pakistan. So we did, or I did 80 square kilometres of topo survey by myself with a Leica 1200 mounted to the roll cage on the standard, very, very standard Hilux. And then I don't know if you remember those 1200 control units with
Right.
the you click them on and off that can pole mount kind of thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
I had that attached to the grab handle on the driver's side with my elbow resting on the window and just holding that steady while I was driving in low range, first, second, third gear. I'd do 4Ks across the desert, and then I'd shift over 25 meters and do 4Ks back. And it wasn't uncommon to do 2 tires a day, to get stuck 3 or 4 times a day. I was out there by myself. It was awesome. It was
Challenging.
relying on all of those skills and experiences I'd had up to that point to make that job work. But at the same time, if I had one of my team in that situation now, I just wouldn't allow it to happen. It was, I was pretty confident I was going to be okay. I was prepared with everything I had to have and all that sort of stuff. But I was using the standard, not even a bottle jack, just the standard bottle, the jack you get with the Hilux with the twisty handle.
Yep.
And I'd drive up a hill, then I'd drive down the other side, and I'd have a rock. I'd be beached on a rock under my sump or something like that. And so I get the sledgehammer out, start smashing the rock apart, and I get the bottle jack out, and I'd jack up the back of the car, and then I'd just push the car down the hill, and then
So
go.
safe.
I was behind the car, but maybe smashing the rock with the sledgehammer bit wasn't the safest bit. But yeah, it's just get the job done. But now you get a M400 drone with a L3 payload. You do 100 square Ks in a day, and I did a 75-day swing out there, and but it's just incredible.
Yeah. Well, talking about the technology, 2001 to now, you would have seen a massive change in technology.
No, it's been fantastic. From when I first started out, the underground wharf station methodology that we use now, that Brendan McCormack pulled together, that was down at St Ives at Kambalda. That was revolutionary. Previously, we were setting up under backsiding a backspin, ladders in bogger buckets or scoop buckets, nifty lifts on the back of utes to get up to the backs and put pins in. It was, so being able to set up wherever we wanted, do resections, carry that forward, it was an absolute game changer. And obviously GPS was really starting to come into its own at the time as well. So I was lucky to be there. The guys I worked with in Kalgoorlie would always talk about cutting line and that sort of stuff. We never cut line. We just, I think I did 300 metres one day, and that was about it. Whereas these guys would go out and do 5Ks a day for 3 weeks, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously laser scanners. When we were in Cal, we paid 240 grand for a MapTech 8800. And then when I started my business, I saw one on eBay for 8 grand, and I thought, geez, I can't let that go up, go past. But I have not used it a single day in its life. And then,
Really?
and then, at a conference recently, I set it up and said, come, got a set of Allen keys and said, come have a crack at taking this apart. And so, yeah, over the course of the conference, we completely dismantled this once $240,000 laser
Oh,
scanner,
wow.
just
my
to
God.
see what was inside of it, you know.
Yeah, right. That's
So,
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
so scanning for you in your jobs is not really relevant.
Not on the large scale
Hmm.
pit wide scanning that scanner was designed for.
Wow.
So it was typically stop and go, either tripod mounted or they released a vehicle mount system later,
Hmm. Hmm.
actually at the same time, but then they released a vehicle mount system with an IMU. But yeah, we do laser scanning in our business. We've got
Okay.
P30s, hover maps, cows. Yeah, scanning. We do a heap of scanning in the business at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
But
It over pits or like over the pits or
no,
what?
it's all UAV in that regard these days.
Yeah.
So as
Okay.
soon as the DJI P4 came out,
Hmm.
and then especially the P4 RTK, which was the major leap that really brought a great deal of efficiency to the aerial side of things.
Yep.
Laser scanners were effectively dead in the water.
Yep.
You'd have all the shadowing, you'd have all the issues that came with it. But if you want a very quick turnaround at the digging face, nothing is quicker than driving it down with a roof-mounted scanner, setting up the middle, taking a GPS shot, doing a 1 minute scan and driving out of there, you know, and you can
Mm.
process that in 10 minutes and you've got some data.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Always what you've got baseline data to check that on or
so typically, so a site where that particular instance or particular circumstance would happen, they'd do their end of month and then they'd do
yep.
daily face pickups.
Hmm.
As I said, with a roof mount scanner, drive in, scan, drive out, and not stop the trucks or anything. And then they just append that to their end of month on a progressive basis, and then reconcile that with a pit wide scan each end of month.
Yeah. Okay. Do you use the drones or anything underground?
Yep. So we've got a hover map system. That's been fantastic for
Yep.
us.
Is that's the one in the cage?
No, so that's
No.
the Elios 3.
Okay.
So there's the hover map, the Axiom, Elios. They're the main three
Yeah. Okay.
pieces of SLAM-based hardware underground. And then there's handheld scanners and that sort of stuff. But for what we're doing with stope inspections, rise inspections, that sort of stuff, the hover map's been a fantastic bit of kit, and we use it a lot for shed scanning and that sort of thing. And I think we're just in the process of getting an older model hover map payload that we'll just use exclusively for shed scans and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because the logistics of moving hardware between Perth, Kalgoorlie, and as of January 8th, Esperance to do shed scans and all that sort of stuff, it's yeah, we just need more capability.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you transfer it? Carry it on or put it underneath the planes?
So the hover map is drone based, and yeah, that's all fully mounted and integrated into an M350. I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh yeah, I mean like getting them from site to site.
Oh no, we just from Perth to Cal, there's a daily express freight system.
Okay.
If we're going to site, Kalgoorlie covers a lot of the underground sites within 5 hours, sort of thing in WA. But if we're going up to Telfer or Nifty or something like that, typically we'll freight it just because of the batteries on the
Yeah.
M series can't be flown. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was sort of wondering about,
yeah,
with all of the issues with the batteries and stuff these
yeah.
days.
But we run. We've got anytime I see a big nally tub, which is a hard pallet with hard edges and you can get a lid for it, I'd jump on those real quick because they're very handy for shipping a whole survey department's worth of site, worth of gear up to site. So it's really handy.
And protects it a bit.
Yeah, you can pad it up as much as you want and just zip tie the lid on and it's good. So
yeah, cool. Just sort of moving into a little bit about your business and starting your business and stuff like that. Where did that sort of come about? How did you end up taking that step?
Yep. So, I guess I've always had entrepreneurial streak from an early age, grabbing my dad's brick trolley and strapping some crates to it and walking around the neighbourhood, knocking on people's doors and getting soft drink bottles and taking them down to the deli at 20 cents a piece to, as I said, working a heap of jobs. I always wanted more than a salary, I guess. And I wanted to test myself. I was in a very fortunate position that I'd had with the crew that I worked with out of Kalgoorlie. I'd had 12 years of diverse experience. And then I took a job leading or starting a Mine Surveyor division at another firm. So I had 3 years with them with P&L responsibilities and that sort of thing. So I'd had the technical and then I had the management experience. And then I had I finished my final studies, got my authorisation. During that 3 years, I spent a lot of time on my network and working really, really long hours, going to a heap of different sites. And then, the time came. But again, very fortunate to have met my lovely wife, who was a mining engineer, and we didn't put a whole heap at stake. There wasn't a whole heap at risk, which was good. It was just the working capital of the business effectively. And if I really stuffed it up, we never put the house up as collateral or anything like that. We deliberately didn't try to didn't risk anything that would sink the ship. It's always been about making sure whatever happens that we don't sink the ship, which is just our general financial standing and that sort of thing. So but sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say working at you can say the land surveys where you did that part of it. Going into that leadership position, what sort of lessons did you learn? Because starting up a division like that really takes a lot of knowing the behind the scenes stuff and how you do run a section, like as you said, your profit and loss, and you're going to be managing teams and all of these different sorts of things. So how did you just know stuff from what you had learnt along the way, or how did you get? That's a big thing.
Yeah, look, I knew a little bit of it. I think they thought I knew more than I probably did. During the interview, they said, "Look, it all sounds pretty good, but can you go away and write a business case for your position? How we're going to charge people out? What do we need to consider, and all that sort of stuff?" And I did that, it was pretty close to what we ended up doing, which was great. But it was the head of HR there, a lovely girl called Karen Scott, who's fantastic and been a really good mentor of mine for a long time. She was like, "So just be clear, you're going to be running a team, you're going to be hiring people, firing people, you're going to be responsible for your P&L, And that hadn't been explained to me fully to that point. And I was like, yeah, no worries, no worries. And I hung up the phone. I was just like, oh, shit. how am I going to do this? So, so it's a bit of fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And as I said, a bit of that entrepreneurial, yep, no worries, we can do this, we'll give it a go. Bruce Baker, who was there, was the guy that hired me. He was a fantastic mentor for me, and
He's one smart cookie, that one, hey.
he runs intellectual gymnastics around a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
I felt very dumb talking to him.
But Bruce is a great guy, and
yeah, lovely guy.
Very, very switched on, and I was very privileged that he took me under his wing. Jason Grimer, who was there as well, he taught me a lot of emotional intelligence, and introduced me to a book called The E-Myth, which was really changed my way of thinking, just around trying to systemize your business, trying to make sure you're not reliant on any one person or too reliant on any one person. And it's a very, I listened to the audio book. Old mate reads it very, very slowly. So make sure you listen to it on 1.5 times, because it drags on.
Especially if you've got that brain that's going 50 million miles an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was it was really good. And just seeing Pete Rouleau working up close, that guy's a weapon. He's he likes going after the big fish, and he's a big game hunter, that's for sure.
Yeah, not afraid, hey. So starting up your business, how many was it? Just you?
Yep. So I started mid-July 2017.
Yep.
And then I think I had a bloke on site on the 3rd of August or something like that. And then and I didn't know the surveyor that we hired for that. Someone had put me in touch, and I followed up and got him on board. We had an external HR company that we engaged from day one, and locked them in for 5 years. So they had all our contracts and all that sort of stuff sorted.
Okay.
And then had all the insurances sorted and all that sort of stuff. And had old mate out there. And then before I left lands, I'd also lined up secondment work for me to do back to lands as well. So I was out on site a fair bit for those first 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I think by December we probably had 5 people. And then by April, I think, of 2018, we'd gone and bought a gyro, which was the scariest thing I'd ever done, for 120 odd grand, because I had some good connections over at Freeport in Indonesia, and got that work, and then just kept going from there. And then Gemma Murphy joined us, who's a bit of an icon here in WA. She's amazing. She looks after all of our mining side and all our gyros and resurveys and cals and that sort of stuff. So, but I've had some amazing mentors in and out of the survey industry.
Yeah. And
it's awesome. My best mate, a guy called Ryan Wilshire, he from day one, he was a business broker, and he was like, right, set this up. You're going to have GSTG. You're going to think it's great for the first 18 months because you're not going to pay any corporate tax, but then that's going to be due. And so I just started. I think I had 9 bank accounts where I'd I'd pay I'd pay wages, and PAYG would go here, super would go here, GST would go, and yeah, I still run a version of that today. Like
Yep.
we've got every cent in the business that we owe anyone today. So that's
So
good.
so getting from that, which is something that I think is really, really important for anybody, because there's a lot of people out there who think, oh, I can do this and I can make heaps more money working for myself. Have gone and either got a diploma or have gone and got their degree, whichever way they choose to get their qualifications, and think, I'll go out on my own, I'll start my business, but really have no business sense because they've never been taught what's
Yeah,
involved in a business. So it sounds like from day one you had all of the support there to
yeah,
maintain that.
yeah. I was so lucky. So Ryan leased me an office at $1,000 a month, and yeah, we'd have beers on a Friday. We'd talk about his week. We'd talk about my week, and he'd be like, "Oh, watch out for that. Keep your eye on that. Careful with that." So yeah, I was so lucky, and the only reason, well, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons why I was able to do what I did is I had 12 years of technical across a diverse
Yep.
range of locales, and I'd met a lot of people. I'd had that management experience.
Yep.
I had a very strong network. I like meeting people. Like a lot of surveyors are technically brilliant, but socially awkward. I don't think that's a particular secret to too many people.
No, it's not.
So
I think the first time I met you, we were joking about something really stupid, and it was like, like, who is this guy? And it's, oh shit,
look,
he's your
I,
boss. I was talking to
yeah,
Justin. He's your boss. He goes, yeah. I went, oh crap.
look,
Whoops.
I don't take myself too seriously at all. You've got to have a laugh, and with a last name like Grocock, I mean, geez, if I'm not taking the piss out of myself, other people are. So I'd rather do it myself, you know.
Yeah.
But
Just like the
no,
message I got that you were gonna, that you were running late because you were doing your hair.
yeah, all of my hairs.
For,
Yeah,
for, for those that are listening and not watching, there's not much up there.
all hair. Yeah,
The hair. There we go.
yeah. But no, it's you got to have a laugh. Like
Yeah.
I really hope that our team, like, they can approach me about anything.
Yeah.
I might tell them this isn't my area of responsibility, but you know what? I'll have a beer with anyone we got working with us anytime. Like there's no one I wouldn't choose to sit down with and have a laugh with and shoot the shit.
Yeah. So that sort of takes us into the other two areas I sort of wanted to talk about was your business and your value. You talk about company values and some of the bullshit that they put up there, but really don't align with them at all. They're just
Yep.
words, sort of thing. And you've got, yours is putting family first. How does that work within your company and team and stuff?
Um, if we've had, so we pay 4 weeks parental leave for any
Mm-hmm.
new parent in the business. I mean, we're a business of 45 people, you know.
Yep.
I don't think there's too many companies of our size that do that. To me, that's just a huge investment. Not a huge investment, but it's an investment in our team that hopefully they take as these guys actually give a shit about us, you know.
Yep.
So, um, by way of example, one of our guys has been out on parental leave, and he's flying back to site tomorrow. But a week 3 days out from flying back to site, he calls us up and goes, "Oh, look, the second one's causing a few headaches. My wife would like me home for another swing." And you sort of take a deep breath and you go, "Okay, let me see what I can do. I'll take care of it." But it was always going to be his family first. Like, nothing else matters. So nothing else matters as important to him and therefore to me. So we leaned on the rest of the team, and thankfully they were able to step up and step into the breach. And I spoke to the bloke who's going back to site tomorrow, and I said, "I'll make sure you take a pack of Tim Tams or something up for Tony." And he goes, "Yep, no, I've already got something for him to say thanks." So that's awesome to hear that he'd already thought about showing his appreciation. You know?
So that's the real intentions of building that real culture and that team of looking after each other. And it's not just about the dollar, and it's not just about, you know, the company sort of thing.
No, we've had our team call us up and go, "I don't like this place. I don't like this crew I'm working with. If I don't get out of here, I'm going to quit."
Yep.
And it's like, "Mate, I do not want you to quit." So it's never any, "Oh, do you think you can hang it out for another 6 months or whatever?" It's typically, as soon as I get off the phone with him or her, I'm on the phone to the senior on site saying, "Look, this isn't working out for this guy personally. I'm really sorry. I'll see if we've got someone else."
Yep.
And yeah, look, if we don't, occasionally the client's left in the lurch, and occasionally they go to one of our competitors. But I've still got that person in our business.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm thankful.
Yeah. So it's really about their well-being. How many females do you have working for you?
So we've got 2 on the administration side. We've got Gemma looking after all the mining and all the tech services. We've got Ellie and Megan in the geospatial. Megan looks after our laser scanning. Ellie looks after some desktop stuff around erosion mapping, aerial processing, plus Ellie's a very keen little golfer, and we've been getting a lot of LiDAR mapping of golf courses and that through her contacts. So that's been fantastic. We've got Tashka up in Kalgoorlie. She does a 2-and-2 up there. And if she's not flying drones or working open pit or going underground or doing geodetic stuff, she is stand-up paddleboarder of the year in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So she went over to Dubai and competed internationally over there, and she shot the lights out over there.
Did not even know that there was something.
It's all part of the Paddle Sports Association or something like that.
Nice.
But I'm sure I'm missing someone. Am I missing someone? I think I'm missing someone, but I'll get back to you. But
you'll think of that.
These people add so much value to our business, and we're thankful to have them.
Yep. How do they manage the ones that are going on site? I suppose being out in, being in a male-dominated industry around here, you're going onto construction sites and stuff like that, but doing a 2-and-2, you're completely away, sort of thing,
yep.
and from everything, really.
Yeah. Yep. Look, I mean, Gemma in particular, she takes no shit. She's been around long enough to tell someone they've been an asshole, to put them in their place if she needs to.
Yep.
and she's had her challenges when she first started, when she was a grad, around the turn of the century. Geez, I'm getting old, but and so is she. But
So am I.
yeah, she had her challenges, but she's absolutely fantastic. She
Yeah.
doesn't take any shit, and
Yep.
from me in particular, which is much to my exasperation. Sometimes I'm raising two daughters, and I want them to be tough and independent and not take any gruff, but only when they're not dealing with me or their mum.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking about the ladies in our team, and
Yes.
yeah, they're incredible, and
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, no, that's really nice to hear. It's nice to hear that there is a company who does think about the person
Yep.
before anything else, sort of thing. That to me is just, people say, oh, you can't do that and you can't do this, and you've got to run a business and all of that sort of stuff. And to hear you sort of say, well, no, the person is the most important, really hits home.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. We're nothing without them. Without our crew. Yeah, we're nothing without them. Have we got it right every single time? No, but I think my bullshit detector's fairly well attuned, and if they give us, like, it's so funny, people give you references on their CV, and it's like, oh yeah, thanks for that. Like, but you just have a look where they've worked. You work out who you know. You
Yeah.
hardly ever call those references, and if you do, it's very much, were they on time? Did they do their work diligently? But the reference I give a shit about is he a dickhead or not?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can he fit into a team, or can they fit
Yeah.
into a team?
Yeah. And not everybody fits in to
No.
each team either. So, you're gonna have those ones that sometimes just don't work out, and
Yeah, but
they
the
fit
beauty
better.
of our company is if they're not going to fit into a team, chances are we've got a site very, very far away from everyone that we can send them to.
I love it.
And they can just go be their authentic self out there and yeah, nerd out on whatever they want to nerd out on.
Yeah, cool. I want to talk about the mental load of the job.
Yep.
A bit about the pressures that come with surveying in areas that you guys particularly survey in, those rural areas, the deadlines you've got to work to, the safety, the responsibility, the isolation, all of that sort of stuff. It must have an impact on the mental load of a person.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, my greatest, absolute worst fear is that I get a phone call saying one of our teams topped themselves,
Yeah.
whether it be at work or at home.
Yep.
Yeah, it scares the absolute shit out of me,
Yep.
more than anything else.
Yeah. Because it's well, I don't know statistically, but it's a higher rate for FIFO sort of.
It's probably a high rate for men. It's a higher rate for
Yeah.
people in their 20s to 30s. Like we're ticking all the boxes for all the risk
Yep.
factors, and yeah, there's checking in on our team is one thing. Again, we're a company of 45, but we've got an EAP. I don't think many of our team use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what what I really wanted to have in our business was a critical incident response plan, and that's been it's something that we probably need to revisit and have a look at. But that's been an incredible comforting factor for myself, because we know that if something happens, we know where Gemma's going, we know where Matt, our Kalgoorlie team leader's going. We know what I'm doing. We've got it down to who's going to go with the police to go speak to the widow, you know?
Yeah.
It's, and it's just incredible. I can't really speak for our team on site. I hope that the work that they do doesn't put them under a massive strain. I would like to think that if it did, they'd call us and
Yep.
we'd take care of it. But from my side, I remember being up at Nifty up there, and in the muster room, they've got a sign up above the whiteboard, and it said, "Success only comes before work in the dictionary." And these were very early days of my business. And I was looking at it just tearing up, going, "Damn right it does." Like, this is like, when you're just doing massive weeks, and if I'm on site, I'm doing 12-hour days, I'm doing 4-hour nights, you know, and I'm trying to eat, sleep, and shower around all of that. I generally avoid going to site, just because I can't manage 45 people and $10 million in revenue with me being out on site. So it's it's really challenging. But look, I've last July we merged with Insight. At the start of that year, my dad passed away. The Insight process was probably a 12-month process. We were growing at a rate. We were growing very fast. The merger process was very involved, took a lot of work. We were renovating the Kalgoorlie office. I had a lot on my plate. And come that merger, come August after the merger, I was cooked. And I had a trip with a couple of mates planned over to Europe to go hike around the base of Mont Blanc for 10 days. And then I had a week in the UK visiting some friends. And it was amazing just to have a really solid digital deconnect and reset. But that was as close to the brink as I've probably ever been, of just exhaustion and family and all that sort of stuff. It was really, really tough. But at the same time, sometimes you're like a boxer, right? And you're taking on someone that you know is going to beat you around the ring, but you've got to do it. Like, you've just got to get in there. You got to get that job done. It's going to suck, but you've got to have a light at the end of that tunnel. It can't suck year in, year out. That's not sustainable.
Yeah.
But there's periods in my life I've gone into it knowing this is going to suck and this is going to really test what I'm made of, but there's something on the other side of it. So,
I think with our industry, with construction, with all of those types of industries, it's getting better, but it's still not comfortable conversations, people talking about it or saying that, you know, they've suffered or things like that. So when I saw that you had written about your journey and you know, and the way that you were feeling and stuff like that, I felt really empowered and impressed, because not enough people put it out there. A lot of people think that it's weak to say that you've suffered, or, you know, that you can't handle things, or, you know, you've burnt out like I did, you know, sort of thing. It's my second burnout. You know, I stupidly went through it twice. This time was probably way worse than the first one, sort of thing. But having people actually talk about it and realize that, you're not alone, and that these things do happen, and that there is a way forward, or you can reach out to somebody because they've been there, or, that sort of thing, or they can guide you to, get help and things like that, is a really big thing for me, because, in my sense, a little bit different to yours, that, I had the perimenopause hit as well, and not knowing what that was. And, I ended up with depression and the stress of work and all of these things. And then all of these other things started happening, and I didn't know what it was. And it just carried on and kept tumbling, and more and more and more. And the work that I was doing, I was doing more than I should have been doing. But, just everything was just a massive implosion, and because I just felt I had to keep going.
I likened it to being under a concrete slab. Like, the slab just kept getting heavier and heavier, and like, to start with, it was a foam mattress, but it just kept building and building. And I'm okay, I'm dealing with it. But you need that escape, and for someone who's the owner, founder of a business, I can't quit.
No.
I literally, I have days where I'm sitting there going, oh, geez, that'd be a good job. Imagine working up at Coolin Island and going fishing and after work and all. Geez, that'd be nice. I might apply for that job. And then I'm like, snap out of it, mate. I cannot quit. There might be a time in the future where I make myself redundant, or we hire someone to take my job, or we get bought out and merge as a part of a larger company or whatever. But the burnout. If I burn out, I need a reset, and then I need to do it again.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I guess, in one sense I am lucky, because it wasn't my business. I gave everything to something that wasn't mine, and I've been off since June. And I've had that time, and I've been able to really, I was 3 or 4 weeks of sleeping. My body just needed it. I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd just lie in bed, and I'd fall asleep, and it would be 2 o'clock, and
that's depression right there.
Yeah, and it just kept going for weeks on end before I sort of thought, okay, I think I can get up today. I think I can take that one step today, or, speak to somebody, or, those sorts of things. So, I'm really big in that sense. And because I've also had my son, when he was younger, suicidal as well. So mental health to me is a very big, important thing to get out there and say, hey, it's here and it's real, and people suffer. The more you can
I'm
talk
sorry you
about
had to go through all that. That's incredible.
It's tough. Those sort of things are tough. I'm tough, and
you don't have to be though.
Sorry.
You don't have to be though.
No, but I'm tough in the sense that I will find the way that suits me to get back to being the person that I need to be, which is what I also did to help my son sort of thing through his journey and that sort of stuff. Which is, when I went over to the Women's Surveyors Summit, my friend Anna, who runs it all and started it, asked me to speak at lunchtime. I'm like, yeah, sure, no worries. What do you want me to speak about? She goes, burnout and looking after yourself and all this kind of stuff. And so I stood there and talked for 45 minutes or something on what happened to me, all these different things and stuff, and what I've been doing and all this sort of stuff. And apparently I had half the room in tears because they all thought they were on their own. They thought they had no one else to talk to, sort of thing. And so that's where it's really important. And that's why I said I really it it really hit me and resonated that you actually put yourself out there and wrote about it, because it doesn't. Not a lot of people do that because they think that it shouldn't be talked about, or that sort of stuff.
Look, yeah, I probably wrote it on the same sort of reasoning that you're talking about. Yeah, you got to have the emotional intelligence to be able to ask for help and to
Yep.
make it easier for other people, and I mean that's what that's why we support WIMWA. That's why we don't give a shit if you're male or female. If you're good at your job, you've got the job, and
Yep.
as I said,
love that.
I've got two daughters. They need to. I need to make the world a better place for them, right? So,
Yeah.
and it might not even be them that I make the world a better place for. It might be my granddaughters or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but it's a bit full of myself to think I'm going to make the world a better place. But if I've got any influence or whatever that I can exert, then I'll exert it.
My take on it is, if I reach one person, then it's all worth it.
Yeah.
And I've had more than that reach out saying thank you,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And I'm not doing it for the thanks. I'm doing it to help to help other people exactly like you, to make things better.
Don't get me wrong. There's a commercial aspect to it as well. Like, I see complete underutilization of females in the surveying industry. Like, it's like there's so many people out there that have got skills.
Yeah.
I'll take them. Like, come work for me. Like, yeah. So yeah, it's partly altruistic. It's partly commercial. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and pretend that it's not.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I think in your line of work, you really do have to be a certain type of person to do that.
Do what I'm doing, or to be a surveyor?
No, what you're doing. I think in that mining space and the fly in, fly out, and I do think that to be a surveyor, also you do have to have a little bit of I don't know what the word is. You've got to be able to have a joke. You've got to be able to give a bit. You've got to be able to,
We're a service provider, right? And we've got to integrate from the mine manager to the nipper, to the labourer, right?
Yep.
And we need to ingratiate ourselves with all of those people so that we can give them what they need. We can get what we need from them, whether it be access to a heading or help with a flat tyre or whatever. So, yeah, I was on site one time, and I saw an old mate who was a mining engineer when I was coming up, and he was the mine manager. And I went and collared him and said, "Mate, I need an IT and an IT crew." And he's like, "You are shooting about 3 levels above the people that you need to be speaking to by speaking to me." And like, this is a mate of mine. I'm like, "I don't give a shit. Can you help me out?" And he's like, "Come with me." And but we were just hitting brick wall after brick wall, And yeah. Look, I reckon you can most of the time say anything as long as you say it with a smile and a bit of a glint in your eye. Yeah, just have a laugh. Don't take life too seriously.
Yeah, no, I like that for sure. After 24 years, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud that with Element Geospatial, like when I built the Mine Services division at Land Survey, so 17 people. Before I left, I thought it was a bit of a fluke, like imposter syndrome. they've got a massively high performing team over there. And I was thankful for the guidance and the input and all that sort of stuff. But when I went out on my own, it was a case of, right, can lightning strike twice? Can you do this? And by doing it twice, by doing the merger with Matt Power and his team from Insight,
Yep.
like, I'm capable, and I'm proud of that. I dare say I'm much better at running a business these days than I am at turning angles. The team we've got run absolute rings around me, and my muscle memory.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but look, I'm eternally pessimistic about the future, so I conservatively prepare for it, I guess. And hopefully, when China starts lobbing missiles at Taiwan and the world goes to shit, or whatever the next major crisis is going to be, hopefully our business can survive it in a resilient sort of way, and we can come out the other side just as strong as ever. So it's just I'm proud that we've got resilience in our business, and I'm really proud of the business partners that I've got now. If I was to change anything, I think I would have, with the right person, started the business with someone, rather than to have that partner to bounce ideas off, and to bounce, and to not be the single source of truth in the business for 7 years. That was hard. But the Matts, as we call them, Matt Power from Insight and Matt Jones, who looks after Kalgoorlie, they're absolute weapons, and they're fun guys. They laugh at me all the time. It's a great relationship. I'm very proud to have them in the business, and they're 10 years younger than me, so I've got a daydream about my exit plan, and hopefully by the time they're in my position, we're looking at the next two people to start progressing through the business. And it was funny when we first verbalised that. It's like, shit, we've got a 20-year plan for this business, and it's hard to think more than 18 months, 2 years ahead of yourself, but when you start talking about 20-year plans, it's like, wow, that's incredible.
Well, I mean, succession planning really is important, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like, it's, so important.
I mean, even to the point where you sort of said, having a business where you don't need to be there, that there's other people that are taking those responsibilities, and that's partly in building up those people who have that potential to start taking on parts of responsibility, which sort of take the pressure off you and get them moving up the ladder as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've done in our business, we've done work in probably 11, 12 different countries or something, like. Unless they're opening a mine in Hawaii or something like that, chances are I'm probably offering that opportunity to our team now rather than me taking it. I've had an amazing journey saying yes to opportunity, but it's time to give my team those opportunities as well,
Yep. What would you want the next generation of surveyors to know about building a long, healthy, sustainable career? What advice could you sort of give them?
Be interested in things like we sort of specialise in large scale underground control networks and all that sort of stuff. I've said to people before, hey, I need you to look at this software. Oh, okay, you're going to send me on a course? I'm like, just turn it on, mate. Give it a go. Go to YouTube University, have a crack, and I guarantee you'll probably work it out a lot faster than taking you out of the business for a week and all of that, So, not to say that we don't pay for training and all that sort of stuff, but with the lease squares and all that sort of stuff, I just dived in and I nerded out on it, and I read everything I could read. I've got a library that we've got on our server. There's probably got 120 different articles in it, from gyros to hardware to resurveys to wall stations, and it's all catalogued in a sense. It's there for the team to read.
Perfect.
And
Nice.
if you're gonna become an underground surveyor, go read these 40 articles. And if you've got any passion about it, do it in your own time. You can do it in company time, sure, but if you're generally interested in it, dive in, seek information.
Can you give me access to that? I'm writing a book and I need to know about mining surveying.
Sure.
Well, one of my books.
Yeah, no dramas.
I've already contacted Joe and said, right, Joe, I need to catch up with you. I've got to pick your brain, and I was going to contact Gemma as well and say, Gemma, I need to pick your brain.
Yeah, no, Gemma and Joe, they're both fantastic resources, and Joe's so lovely. She's awesome.
I met her quite a few years ago, and we've always had little chit chats backwards and forwards, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But so. Anyway.
No, she's fantastic.
All right. Well, we've been going for a little bit, so I don't want to take up any of more of your time, but thank you for taking that time to have a bit of a chat with me on your sort of story and where you got to where you are, and your team and all that sort of stuff. I think it's
pleasure.
Really, I think it's really inspiring. I'm really glad that I could get you on and have a bit of a chat. So before we go, I do a little quick shots. So, tea or coffee, hot or cold, what sort of thing. And just gets learn a little bit more about you.
Sure.
All right. So first one, tea or coffee, always the start.
Coffee.
Total station or scanner?
Multi-station.
Oh. Underground or open pit?
Underground. No flies, less dust.
That's true.
And you're working in more 3D. Mm-hmm. So and accuracies are higher.
Interesting. One tool you can never have enough of.
Leathermans.
What was that? Sorry.
Leathermans.
Okay.
Yep. So everyone that starts with us gets a G-Shock and a Leatherman. And I give them the G-Shock and I say, you've got no excuse to be late for a plane. And I give them the Leatherman and I say, you should be able to fix anything. And that's how people are bought into the company.
Nice. I like that. The best country you've worked in?
For learning about myself and what I wanted to do, Pakistan. For good times with Daniel Brooks, Bulgaria. For the travel perks and all that sort of stuff, probably Ghana. That was 5 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and business class airfares back to Perth on Emirates or anywhere else I wanted to go. Wow. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was super cool.
Toughest job you've ever done?
The resurvey with Brooksy in Bulgaria. It was I was trying to work out how to do underground control resurveys and couldn't work out. Yeah, we didn't have efficient methodology, so it was some very, very long days and challenging conditions with big double-sided respirator dust masks that would come out completely black and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was challenging, but good fun when we go party.
Yep. Your strongest personal value?
My strongest personal value. I've actually got my values, my personal values written down. And one of them is, this may sound very conceited, but one of them is not everyone is Brett Grocock. What that means is, if I was an up and coming surveyor, I'd want to have access to the leadership team. I'd want to can I come to a board meeting and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Can I do training? Can I go do this? And I say that to some of my team and they're like, leave me alone. I want to do my 8 and 6. I don't want all of this. And so I just need and it's around social interactions as well and that kind of thing. I come in all bouncy and hyper and sometimes I need to read the room a bit better. So it's just trying to be a little bit more self-aware, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. Your go-to way to unwind after a hard week?
Usually there's a couple of beers involved. I've been getting into darts lately. So I've got an automatic scoring system set up in my back shed and go out there and zone out for an hour, but
you
sitting on the couch.
180.
Yeah.
180.
Yeah. I know.
How do they say it?
It's been 2.5 years in the making, but here we are.
Congratulations.
Just hanging out with the kids, just laying on the couch and just family, kids. Yeah, that's all. It's good.
Nice. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Being able to transport yourself from one place to another instantly.
That's mine.
Wouldn't it be nice if you go,
it would be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be like, well, I'll be there in a second. We'll have a beer and we'll do this live.
But the funniest thing, I was just, I was speaking to Beck, another friend, and she said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but the only risk is you transport with a fly and then you become half man, half fly, and it becomes an issue.
Or is it Ant-Man?
There was a movie called The Fly where
there was a movie called The Fly. I'm really bad with movies, but I do remember that one.
But no, that'd be cool. Just being able to zap somewhere.
Yeah,
be amazing.
I love that. At a party, where would someone find you?
Laughing. They'd find me laughing, I think. And
with a beer in your hand, laughing.
Beer in my hand, laughing.
I think that's how I kind of remember you, actually.
Yeah, look, as I said, you just gotta, I don't know, just and doing, getting up to good mischief, I dare say. Like we've got a group of 10 mates, and it's just we've got such a shared deep history.
That's nice.
It's there's nothing wrong with a little bit of good mischief.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
How cool do I think I am, or how cool do people regard me as?
How cool do you think you are?
Look,
Come
I
on,
think
Brett.
I've never been asked this question before. I'm not sure. I think I'm about a 6.78, but I think
Are we
a
rounding
lot
up?
of people might consider me well below the median.
Really? Okay. Fair enough. And last one, 3 words that describe you.
Resilient, capable, and resourceful.
Nice. I like those. Very good. All right. Well, that ends our episode. Thank you so much for doing your hair for me before you came on. I really do appreciate that. Brett, thank you. Thank you. It has been a really good conversation, even if we did lose each other for a little bit there.
Yeah.
Your story is a powerful mix of grit, humour, leadership, and heart. What I appreciate most is your openness today. Thank you for talking about those, those important issues, pressures, values, importance of looking after yourself and your people.
Yeah.
Too often in our industry, we talk about the work, but not the weight that comes with it. So, your commitment to leading with family, humanity, and honesty is exactly the kind of example I think our profession needs. So,
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's always nice to chat to you, and yeah, hopefully we can do it in Vegas again sometime soon.
yeah, I don't know when I'll get there again.
Yeah,
I'll have to
actually, maybe
start
not
working on
Vegas. There's nicer
No,
places than Vegas.
yeah, I'm actually probably over Vegas.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, all right, everyone, thank you for listening today. Thank you for being part of this conversation. If Brett's story resonated with you, please share this episode, reach out, check in on someone you work with, or simply start a conversation. Strongest boundaries we set are often the ones that protect our well-being. You can find us both on LinkedIn, and you can find everything for me on petacox.com. So until next time, stay curious, stay kind, look after yourself, and keep defining your boundaries.
Thanks, Peter.